Welcome to today's training on composing a prescription in ePrescribe. This is a web-based portal that is hosted by a third-party company. There will be some features that are included in this training that are a part of the comprehensive ePrescribe purchased option. If you have the basic ePrescribe purchased option, you will not see these features in your Mac practice. These features will be pointed out during this video. This video will go over the basics of creating and transmitting a prescription using ePrescribe. Please keep in mind the only users that can compose and transmit a prescription are going to be users with the privilege nurse, mid-level, or doctor. Before we begin, I want to point out a few very important details that need to be completed prior to composing a prescription in ePrescribe. First, you will want to look in the Patient Ability in the Patient tab to confirm your patient has a full address, including city, state, and zip code, as well as a full 10-digit phone number. Your patient must have a date of birth, and the patient's sex, male or female, must be selected. Most offices have this completed the first time seeing a patient. Second, you will want to look at the clinical ability for this patient. ePrescribe will look at your problem list and pull any diagnosis codes. ePrescribe will look at any allergies or medications that have been entered into Mac practice. ePrescribe will also look into the vitals section for any patients under the age of 19 years of age to pull the height and weight for that patient. The height and weight for patients under the age of 19 is a new requirement. The final section that needs to be confirmed is the preferences for Mac practice. These are located in your Mac practice preferences. In your Mac practice preferences, in the coding section, please ensure that your medications and allergies list FDB. Now that we have confirmed that our preferences are set correctly and our patient has all the necessary information, let's navigate to the RX ability of Mac practice. If this ability is not showing in your toolbar, please right-click on your toolbar and select Customize Toolbar. From here, you will locate the RX ability and drag and drop this into your toolbar. Please select Done once that is complete. With a patient selected in the Patient Selector, you will select the RX ability. In the RX ability, you will see an ePrescribe node or folder in the sidebar and will select this. This will take just a moment to load. Once ePrescribe has loaded, you will see that you are on the Compose tab. This will be your home screen when coming to ePrescribe for any users that have the ability to transmit a prescription. Now let's work on the workflow for creating a prescription for a patient. First, I would like to point out that if you have the nurse privileges for ePrescribe, you are prescribing under a doctor. If your office has multiple doctors, you will have to use the drop-down located here to select the correct doctor you are prescribing under. You must select this doctor prior to actually creating the prescription. Once you have selected the appropriate doctor, you will then move over to the search box and start by locating the medication you are trying to prescribe. For this example, I'm going to search for Advil. As you can see, when searching for Advil, it will pull up any medication that has Advil in its name. I can be more specific in my search, and I could put Advil 200. And as you can see, this will pull up Advil 200 milligram tablet. However, keep in mind that being more specific in the search may not be the best option. If I were to put in Advil-200 and try to search for this medication, you will see that no medication is found. This is because how I have entered in the drug name I am looking for does not match how it is listed in the database. Other information that is seen when searching for the medication is the ingredients listed directly under the name of the medication. If you select this, it will search for that ingredient. You can also see Show Brands option. This is helpful for when you search for ibuprofen and you want to see all of the brands that are available for that medication. Once you locate the medication you are wanting to prescribe, you will click on this medication. First, you will see an alert has popped up. This is for comprehensive ePrescribe offices. This is your warning that the allergy for this patient will not react well to whatever medication you are trying to prescribe. From here, we will fill out the actual SIG of the prescription. We will start just like we would with reading a book. We will start on the left-hand side and fill out the quantity by choosing out of the list below. Next, we can set the form and route if this needs to be changed. From here, we will then select the frequency from the list below. For example, if this is something that is needed to be taken every day, we will select daily. If this is something that needs to be taken 2 times a day, we would select BID. Once we select the frequency, you can see that the total quantity count has actually automatically populated. This will automatically populate for a 30-day supply. If we are needing anything other than a 30-day supply, we can select from the day options below for this to automatically calculate the quantity. However, if the amount of days needed is not listed, please go ahead and type in the total quantity manually. Last, we will then mark how many refills we want for this prescription, if any. We do have a few more options. First, we have DAW, dispense as written, and DNS, do not substitute. If this is valid for the medication you're prescribing, please check this box. Below this, you can see there is a PRN, or take as needed. You can select this option and select a reason from the list available. In the case that the option you're needing for take as needed is not listed in the provided list, please use the additional SIG line below. For example, we could type in PRN acute pain. There will be other times that we need to use this additional SIG because the quantity and frequency that the patient needs to take this medication is not an option in the provided lists. For this, we do have an option in our quantity and frequency lists to select additional SIG. For example, if you are prescribing a medication that needs 1 tablet taken in the morning and a half a tablet taken at night, we cannot enter this using the options in the quantity and frequency list. Instead, we will select additional SIG in both the quantity and frequency list for this prescription. We will then type in the additional SIG stating 1 tab AM, 0.5 tab PM. You will need to ensure that the total quantity is correct. Below the additional SIG, you will see 2 drop-downs to associate a diagnosis code. If a diagnosis code is needed to be associated, please use these dropdowns and select the appropriate diagnosis code. Please keep in mind, ePrescribe locates these in the clinical ability in your problem list. If this is a prescription that your office will prescribe often, please check the box next to Save SIG to Doctor's List. This is a favorites list of each medication that are commonly prescribed for that doctor. Each prescribing doctor can have their own list. Once we have confirmed all the information is correct in this prescription, we will click Save RX. This will now put the medication into our pending prescriptions. To see any medications that are located on your doctor's list, you may search for the medication as we did before. This medication will now show up with bolded text next to it. This is an indication that this medication is located in your doctor's list. You can select this medication as we did before, and this will move that medication to the pending prescriptions. You may also view your doctor's list by selecting the Doctor's List button. If you have nurse privileges, please keep in mind that you must select the appropriate doctor from the drop-down prior to selecting Doctor's List. Each doctor is able to have their own list created. Once this is selected, you can see the medication we have just added to our doctor's list. You can check the box on the left-hand side and click Select, and this will also add the medication to your pending prescriptions. If you see a medication that is no longer needed on the doctor's favorite list, please check the box on the right-hand side and then click Remove from List. Now we are ready to review our pending prescriptions and start the process for review and transmit. If you look at your pending prescriptions and notice that one of the prescriptions is incorrect, please select the Edit button, as this will allow you to change the prescription. Once you have completed any changes, please save the prescription as before. If a medication is in your pending prescriptions that is not needed, please select the X on the right-hand side to remove this prescription from your pending prescriptions. If you have confirmed the medications listed are correct, please select the Review/Prescribe button. Once this button is selected, if you have the comprehensive ePrescribe purchased option, this will pull up and find anything that may have a contraindication or any issues with the medication you are trying to prescribe. For example, me prescribing Advil is not going to work for a patient that is allergic to ibuprofen. If your user has the nurse privilege, you will see a Leave for Doctor Review button. This is an option if you are wanting to confirm that the doctor is wanting to prescribe this medication. Otherwise, we can proceed to transmit. The transmit page will review the medication you are prescribing, and at the bottom you will see a list of pharmacies. If this patient has already had a prescription sent through ePrescribe, you will see the previous pharmacy selected. If a pharmacy is not selected, or you need a different pharmacy, you may select from your list below. If you do not see your location pharmacy list, please check the Show Location List checkbox. If you do not see the pharmacy located on your list, you may select Add Pharmacy. You will locate the pharmacy using any of the search options provided. Once you have searched for your pharmacy, you will then select the pharmacy. When doing so, this will select the pharmacy for your patient and should show in green. Once the pharmacy is selected and you have confirmed the medications at the top are correct, please click Transmit RX and Add to Record. From here, you get the voided copy of this prescription. If you are a comprehensive ePrescribe office, you will see that you have an option to select Patient Education Leaflet. This is similar to what pharmacies give out to patients. In the middle section, you will see patient coupons. This is available to all ePrescribe offices. These are manufacturer coupons, and if any are available, they will be listed here and available to print. The last section here is your actual prescription voided copy. Your office may choose to print this out as a receipt for a patient or to keep on file in office. Please keep in mind, this voided copy cannot be filled at all. Once you leave this page, there is no way to get back to the voided copy. From here, if everything is complete, you may click on the Compose RX tab. This will take you back to your home page for this patient. You will then see under current medications for this patient, the medications that were just prescribed. This will conclude our training over composing a prescription in ePrescribe.